Hey birdies, I'm Sunshine Flying. You can call me Tia, and today we are in Granite Falls for another cabin build. So my last cabin build I actually did in Brindleton Bay, but I decided to actually put one in the camping vacation outdoor retreat world of Granite Falls. And so if you follow me on Twitter or are interactive with me on Discord at all, you'll know that I am really big into camping. It's one of my favorite summer activities. And so one of the things that I have found myself doing a lot lately is spending time in the outdoors, which actually inspired this build and will inspire several more over the course of the summer. So if you didn't know, my husband and I go camping pretty much every other weekend with very few exceptions. And actually next month we'll be away for an entire week camping. And so I really just wanted that love of camping, love of the outdoors, and all the different places all the different cabins and stuff that I've seen to really influence this build. So I wanted to keep with tiny because if you know me, you know I love building tiny homes or tinier homes, and this cabin is no exception. So it's definitely an interesting layout, crammed a lot of stuff into a little bit of space, but I thought it was really fun. And in terms of renting, I think it's $360 a night, so it's a little bit higher, but there's definitely some things that you could cut out to lower the cost. A lot of the decorative plants you could probably get rid of. You'll see in the screenshot there are a ton of those, and could also cut down on the size of the deck if you wanted, anything like that too. So there's definitely ways that you could lower the rental price of this cabin, but I can also tell you from experience that a lot of cabins that you could rent over the summer in places like this, they probably do run about that much, especially now. This summer, now that people can actually camp again, because actually last summer with COVID, people couldn't camp. A lot of campgrounds were closed. Now that people can, they are out all the time. Every single time we've gone camping, the campgrounds have been packed full. Every single lot was taken. And that's even on the hottest of days. People are like, I don't care if it's 100+ degrees Fahrenheit outside. I am going to go camping. And to be fair, we were the same type of people. We didn't care what the temperature was. We wanted to camp, so we went and camped. Anyway, all of those camping adventures have really inspired this build, and I had a lot of fun working on it. I really hope you enjoy it. We've kind of seen the exterior get put together. Of course, there's a fireplace. All kinds of good stuff. I kind of went minimal on the kitchen and dining area because let's be honest here, if you are out camping or spending time in the great outdoors, you're not going to be spending much time indoors unless there's bad weather. So that kind of inspired this teeny tiny space off to the side of the stairs that became the dining and kitchen area. So it's a very tiny, actually, indoor cooking and dining space. But, if it's stormy, if the bugs are really bad, it's a good place to go. This cabin, I will also say, really only seats or sleeps 2 Sims. But if you wanted to, I'm sure you could add a bunk bed upstairs instead of the sofa. You could also put in a Murphy bed somewhere if you wanted. So you could, in theory, make it suitable for many more people than I actually did. I wanted there to be kind of a lounge space up here by the fire. I wanted it to be a bedroom, but it was just a little too small for that, and I didn't want to make the whole cabin bigger. So I decided to make the upstairs a little lounge space with that sofa and some lamps, some art on the walls. And then later when we get outside, we'll put some seating on the balcony too. A nice little spot to watch the sunrise if you are one of those people like me who likes to get up early and sip your coffee as the sun rises over the horizon. And I believe the thumbnail for this is at sunrise, and the front of the house gets a really beautiful sunrise view. Went very rustic and very simple here in the bathroom. There's just some towels, a shower, a toilet, and a sink. It's really all you need if you're out camping. You really don't need anything fancy. So I really tried to go kind of bare bones, keeping in mind that a lot of the time you spend in this house is going to actually be outdoors. So we just did a tiny little table off to the side there, and then we will put in the kitchen basics. So just some countertops, a stove, a little bit of cabinetry, and a fridge, and a sink, of course. So you have your bare minimum for the kitchen, I would say, which is, you know, the fridge, the sink, the stove, and a countertop to cook on. Did not get too fancy, put a little artwork on the wall, but yeah, otherwise it's just a galley kitchen that leads to a tiny little dining area, and really focused on more of the living space. And so each level of this house, you'll notice, has a fire or a wood-burning stove. The fireplace from Snowy Escape actually fits perfectly with this kind of rustic living area. And the bedroom actually doesn't have like a separate like door to close it off from the rest of the cabin. And a lot of cabins are like that. So this isn't uncommon by any means. I think if you even look at the other ones that EA built, they are similar as well. So yeah, we've got a little bit of space here then next to that fireplace where I end up putting a sofa. Like I said, you could probably put a Murphy bed in there if you wanted to. I just put a little love seat. So you have a little bit of lounge furniture next to both fireplaces. Another easy way to make this livable for more Sims, to make the price a little bit more worth it, is, again, like I said, that room upstairs, turning it into bunk beds instead of having a sofa there. So, but I think a lot of why the price of this rental is so high is all of the plants I put out here. So like I said, you could very easily make the rental price lower just by getting rid of some of those plants. But if your Sim has the money, I say, you know, the plants add a nice little touch. And yeah, that I think it's definitely an outdoor recreation spot that is so beautiful. I would love to visit it. I would love to camp here, but we go more rustic. We either do tent camping or we use our pop-up camper, which I'm not really sure that I could imitate in The Sims, but I've been tempted to try several times. I put a lot of outdoor recreation stuff in this build as well. So you'll notice I put a chess table outside. I've got that picnic table and the grill outside, holiday decorations, a cooler, and I put some lights in those posts as well. And then here in the backyard, before I got too much into landscaping, I put out a little bit of shrubbery, but then I focused on putting out some more outdoor activities. So of course there's going to be a fire pit, there's going to be some pine trees and some shady places. This is my second or third build where I played with terrain height as well, which was interesting. Placing trees and such on level terrain is very challenging. I don't know if The Sims is going to work on that or what, but I noticed you couldn't even like lower or raise the trees to get them to blend in more with that hill. So I have a feeling that's what the tool mod does, but I don't have tool and haven't used it yet. So yeah, the other thing I wanted to add in this build, and you'll see me struggle with it soon, is I wanted to put a fishing pond out front, and eventually I succeeded, but I thought that I would be able to get it partially underneath that walkway, and I was not able to do that. So had to kind of get creative and adjust some of the terrain heights to make that possible to do. But in the end, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really nice, and like I said, this is a place that I would want to vacation. The fire pit is not too fancy. I'm definitely not a glamper by any means, but yeah, we're just going into debug here right now, and I'm going to struggle a little bit after I place some cattails. But overall, I had a lot of fun building this. I kept thinking about, you know, what's the kind of place that I would like to see or rent when I go camping. And so, yeah, you can see here I'm starting to like struggle to get that little pond in there, and kind of seeing if there were other sizes in debug or if I could size it down, and you definitely cannot. So I end up shifting it to the other side. And then so this way, I mean, there is other kind of outdoor space for you to visit here, and there's definitely like lake and river fishing, but this way you can do it on the property as well. So if you wanted, you know, to get that fishing skill up while somebody else is like grilling, you can definitely do that. So yeah, overall, I think this cabin is super gorgeous. It's a place that I would like to stay. It's a place I want to take my Sims, and it should be available for download on the gallery now. It is a tiny, cozy cabin, and it is under my my gallery ID of Sunshine Flying, which is what you can use to find me anywhere on my socials. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. As usual, I will have my Reno Wednesday video up next week, and I will have another build for you next Friday. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you'll let me know in the comments what you thought of this build, and I will talk to you all in my next video. Bye-bye.